Good morning, Rise, Urban Nation. It's your host, Terrell Simmons, in the building, and we have an amazing special guest today, Mr. Devin Wilkins. I'm getting all my DMV brothers in the house today. Devin, how are you today,
man,
sir?
I'm great. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. Can't even lie, man. I'm feeling great on Monday.
Yeah, it's a great Monday. Yeah. We motivated this Monday, especially when you get two brothers that's just doing it. Get that, chop it up, and have a conversation. Now, you was introduced to me by a good friend of ours. Could you tell the people who the good friend is?
Ed Doxson. Ed Doxson, a great man from DC, doing great work. I met him in college. He was an underclassman, but way beyond his years. And also, I knew his uncle, who was a fellow SGA president. I was a vice president in Delano, Hunter, and good people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, good people. Does great work out in DC.
Yeah, he speaks highly of you too. We just did an episode with Ed, and Ed was chopping up, was like, "Yo, I got to introduce you to my boy Devin. He's been like a mentor to me, like a big brother." And I was like, "All right, yeah, bet. Let's do it." So, Mr. Devin, for the people who don't know who you are, I don't know. I almost called you Mr. Dalvin for a second.
Devin is cool.
For the people who don't know who Devin is, who is Devin? And you could take that wherever you want to go. Far, we can unpack layers, but give a sense. Who is Devin?
Hey, that started off like that's a great question. First of all, black man, navigating this world. A father, a son, a person of the people, just all around giver, if I can give. And that can be monetary, time, energy. So I would just say a person that's there when I can be there and willing to help. And that's who I am in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I could definitely tell that by the way my brother speaks of you, and it sounds like you continue to give to this day with your community involvement. I was looking at your website the other day, the Black Baltimore Renaissance.
Yes, sir.
Coloring the faces of change. Tell me how this project came about. It's a beautiful thing, but tell me how you birthed it and created this thing.
This came about. I'm gonna show you actually, but it came about just saying what's going on in the black community across the board. And I notice my city always has a negative connotation, just being from Baltimore, even from DC, they would talk down on it. But I'm like, it's good things that's going on. We have artists, we have clothing designers, scientists, poets, culinary arts, in every sense of anything. And I wanted people to highlight those people, really highlight them for myself, to show like people that you see every day are stars. Then you don't have to go to LA, you don't have to go to Miami, you don't have to go to Atlanta. You can be here and see stars. And coloring the faces of change was just coloring people that you know doing the work. Say if you want to be a artist, man, it's an artist right here, it's a photographer right here. We have everything that you need right here. It's not really downplaying people because you know them, but actually acknowledging that you really know them and putting them in that light that they need to be. Because we normally do that even in any city. If you know somebody, you don't give them the credit. But if you don't know them, it's all love. And I just didn't agree with that. So I wanted to put all these people in here that's doing the things that I feel needed to be highlighted. And it's only the first volume. So there's more to come, more women, more people doing great work. But it's the Black Baltimore Renaissance. So I wanted to make sure that was known. All the black people doing great work in the black community.
Yeah, we gotta put the D on it. The Black Baltimore Renaissance.
Yes, sir.
The one, the only. There might be some others, but it won't be. This is the originator, often imitated, never duplicated.
Yes,
and for those who get the visual experience, put that back in there. But for those who get the visual experience when this comes out on YouTube, I love it. I love it. I love how you took the B on the sneaker, like a New Balance sneaker, and took off the N. It just had to be there.
Yes. Also, New Balance won't come to me, so I wanted to make sure it was smooth. No lawsuits or nothing, bro.
It was like, wait, what's that? What's that right there?
Yeah.
We didn't sign off on that.
Correct.
Awesome. I resonate with everything you're saying because that's the whole reason why I started doing this podcast as well. Like, as being a young brother from DC, I didn't realize it too much later. Like there was a lot of people that's just doing great things, and then when I got into my profession and moving up in my career, I started seeing more black people just doing great things that just didn't get the credit, right?
Yeah.
Especially when I got into the world of entrepreneurship, and I was like, man, there's a black person that did that, but how come I never heard about that person, right?
Yeah.
And I often go back and speak to the students in underserved communities, and they had these limited beliefs on what they can be or what they can do. Actually, let me not put that just on the students. The adults got it too. They got limited beliefs on what they could do, what they could be, based on, I think, representation of what they see out there. And then if they only see one of me doing it, like, oh yeah, but there's only one of those spots. So I'm gonna do this basketball thing, this rapping thing. And I was like, man, that's even more of less of a number trajectory than you coming to try to do what I'm doing and making a good living for yourself, if this is what you're passionate about.
And you have to make it cool. Like you just said, start talking to students. This work started with me going to detention centers, working with young people. So from after college, I graduated in 2007 from Delaware State. So after that, came back home and just start doing work. I was at school doing the SGA thing and helping out. So I said, okay, if I help people in college, I got to come back home and do something. I started small, going into the detention centers downtown, and just went through the state. Start talking to young people in PG County, DC, Western Maryland, like facilities. And that's how it is. And like you said, it's just being the example, not being a person that's unflawed, but showing flaws. And if I don't know something, I was bringing people in that had resources. Like, say, a gentleman like yourself. Hey, bro, can you come in and tell them about your profession? Oh, man, this is a brother. Just looks like me, hairstyle like who talks, navigating the world as I can from a different position. Like you say, athletes, entertainment. We heard that before. You're right. That's not the end all be all. Like we're well versed people. That's all I want to be. And you can be yourself, the main thing. Like be yourself, be your authentic black who you are. And you'll find your way.
Yeah. I often struggle. I don't know if you did that. I struggle with that growing up, going like through college, because I had parents to really help me through the college transitions, and then going into the corporate world, I find there's not a places where you could truly fully be your authentic black self, right, and still be able to grow, unless you have your people around you, right, to give you guidance, give you mentorship. Have you found that to be so in your transition through college and career, or how's it been for you?
I would say college everybody was black, majority. The thing.
Oh, wait, which college did you go to? Did you go to a
Delaware State University, HBCU?
Oh yeah, that's right. There's more black people in Delaware State.
Yeah. But navigating, really the hard part for me, like what you said is crazy. Like the hard part was for me was being professional and even being myself, but learning that all black people not the same. We all don't come from the same background. So I'm coming there and I get in positions, board of trustees, and I'm thinking, everybody's on the same type of time. What's up? I learned that it's not always, presenting yourself as like homeboy, we down. Like I had to really adjust in that sense to, articulate myself the right way, carry myself. I never had a father. Well, I have a father, but I never met him. So everything that I picked up and growing up as a man was from people that I saw. So how to dress, how to tie a tie, how I wanted to present myself with a suit, like all these things I picked and added into my toolbox. So that's what helped. And then when I got outside of that, in the real world, it was the same way. Understand, it's tone, tonality, and how you speak. But same time, like I'm staying what I'm saying. But, you got to adjust it when you're talking to different people. And that was it. It was easy, but it was a hard coming from the hood in a sense and trying to be like, man, everybody's not from the hood. Black or white.
Yeah. There's different shades of black. And then some depending on how they grew up in their culture, they're going to have a whole different type of mentality when it comes to how they share their blackness, right? So I appreciate that. One thing that I really admire about you, even though you didn't have the example and role model of a steady dad figure in your life, you come back and you mentor, in a dad kind of way. Well, what made you do that?
Man, just seeing your peers, bro. I'm born and raised in Baltimore City, Northwest area. Even growing up, I just had that like you said before, you didn't have it, but you downplay yourself. I dumbed it down a lot of times. Like in this era growing, I used to that was like Project Pat and different stuff like that. Sometimes I like Most Def, but it's like I couldn't really. But I like both sides. Even when Kanye was coming out at the time, and you understand, like, man, I like this type of vibe, but I'm here in this world, so I had to put this mask on. So I really, even to this day, that's how I even had this coloring book, having a connection to people in the streets and having a connection to black men in corporate America. It's like a balance of intertwining. So to really answer your question, it was really to come back and show that you can be whatever. Even if that guy, like you said, we see examples. I know some smart people in some unfair, unjust places, prison. Some people died early, and seeing that coming up as a teen and then getting accepted to college, it was the main thing. And when I got to college, it was like, man, people still trying to be in the hood in college in a sense. So it was like, I want to switch this up. I didn't come here to be doing the same thing. So it's really just coming back and showing other options. I don't really have a direct answer, but I'm not trying to be a dad. I'm not trying to really hate the word mentor. I'm just trying to be a helping person. So when you come back and say, man, bro, you helped me, that's all I need. And Ed said something, I feel good about that. That's all.
Yeah, I love that. Trying to help each one teach one.
Also, yeah.
You're on that like it takes a village type model. And I agree with that too. Going back to your mask comment, what do you think? Because I see that a lot in our community, especially going back to DC. How as we would say, these youngins out here be wilding and there's this need to mask up. Like I may know my man's, when we grew up, and I know he got a different side to him, but the block don't see that side to him because he wearing this mask and he being this tough dude out in the streets. Yeah. Why do you think we as black men feel a need to be that way? And do you think there'll ever be a time where we can unmask and be honest with each other and help evolve and uplift each other?
It's happening. I won't ponder on that. Like the negative with it. Like it's happening slowly but surely. Just look at the progression of like our generation. I don't know your age exactly, but we're kind of in the same age range. And looking at the black men from us, like being real transparent with their feelings, what they want in life, in a partner. Now that can be fluid with anything with a partner. Men are more accepting of things. And it's starting to work. But with some of the people that still have that mask on, it's environmental, bro. If I'm in a hard place, it's only so much I can be weak before the wolves try to eat me alive. And it's a survival tactic at the end of the day. So I don't know if it's going to change. It's just like taking some of those people out, putting them in different environments, showing them that there's more. Even like you say in DC. DC is probably one of the top expensive cities to live in the past 15 years. Progressively, and at the same time, it's still poverty at everywhere you go in that same city. So really taking some taking some of those youngins and actually saying, man, hey, looking at these institutions around here, like actually besides going to Chevy Chase, looking around like, man, right here is multi-million-dollar homes, billionaires live here, 100 millionaires, the wealth gap, like really understanding like this stuff is really in your face. And what we playing is a small game. The money that we're trying to make on the streets is small. The things that we value don't really mean nothing. So it's really having people like yourself. And I don't even like that throw me like I'm end all be all, but just showing, like, bro, here, this can happen for you.
Yeah. Best and for please don't die over the neighborhood that your mama renting. There's other things that we could do to invest each other and uplift the community. And I hope they hear your messages, our messages, and we can do that. Now to that point, what do you think for the transformation that is happening? Because I do see some transformation happening.
Of course.
Where we starting to unmask. we starting to go to therapy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, cause I know my dad's generation, you wouldn't be called dad talking about therapy
Yeah.
and self care and all that stuff, right? I don't know if,
No, be a sign of
in your
weakness.
parents' generation they was like that, but definitely not in mine.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I
But we
understand.
starting to make that transition. What do you think is helping to make that transition, or why do you see it? Do you think you see it happening more?
People are speaking about it more.
Nah.
People are speaking about it more. People want to unpack those traumas. Like even with that Kendrick album, a lot of albums, like you said, Jay-Z, a lot of men in those places, like that people admire or in the forefront, entertainment wise, or even just men and professionals, like they're speaking about it. Like the generations before, they had the mask on even more. Even the stuff the people we admire as men, your uncles, they couldn't be their authentic self. And now is the time when you get older as a man, you can have real men conversations. Like, okay, I wish I could have a conversation with my great grandfather. He passed away in '06. I was like 17. Like to understand like the concept of how did you navigate through that world? Some of those people at that time, born in the 20s and 30s, they had double lives. They have a wife here and a family over the other side of town. But like really having those conversations, a man now, why were you moving like that? Well, some of the past times or like lessons they taught us aren't really relevant now, the principles. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to rant in a sense, but it's just like, uh, bro, it's just like we just being ourselves now. Like after this pandemic, I feel like people don't want to hold on to that old guard of life.
Right.
So
Yeah, and it looks like you've done you continuously do the work on yourself. Like what has helped you kind of transition, throughout the years, to become the person that you are today, like to help elevate you.
I've been talking to myself honestly. Like, okay, I turned 33 years ago. I'm 33. At that point, I just reflected, well, at least the past couple years on myself. Like, okay, man, am I really who I'm say I am? Am I doing what I want? Am I really becoming the man that I want to be? And I wasn't. Had children, and it's like, okay, I have a real example for two sons, and it's like I didn't want to be a character, and a lot of times, I always was scared to like when I got out of school, I was at that level and excelling, and I came back home and like not at a high level doing something, I don't want to showcase it. So I was just working, doing my community work, go back home. But then that 10 years passed, and I realized I'm just looking at my city, just looking at all the cities, but more so here, nothing is changing. The people in position don't really care. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a saint. I don't want them to say I did this. I said, forget it. I'm going to help how I can help. Whatever you want to dig up or say, I'm a man. I'm not perfect. So understanding I wasn't perfect made me become now. So when I'm 34, 35, all I see is myself progressing and elevating because I'm true to myself. I'm not trying to be anybody. And that's what's going to make me become the best version of me because I'm no longer trying to be nothing else but me.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. That's I resonate with that lesson because that's one of the lessons I learned too. Like I remember when I was going back to speak to some schools because I was a little knucklehead growing up. Like I got in trouble and everything, and then one of the teachers knew that. But when I came to the school, I talked about me as my professional self. I didn't talk about my knucklehead self, right? Because I didn't want that out there because that was the old me, right?
Yeah.
But she was like, look, these kids ain't resonating with you because you ain't being true to all of you.
Yeah.
Like, tell them about how you used to be running and gunning in these streets and was a knucklehead and how you transitioned through life. And then I was like, I don't know if they want to hear that. I won't be preaching at them because I was on my I. She's like, nah, you need to talk about that. And then one day I talked about it, and then the rest was history from there. They was like, for real? Then I started really getting their ear, and then more people started saying, hey, we heard about you gave my students from such and such class was telling me about a speech you gave. Could you come talk to my students? Then I heard about some of the stuff you was talking about. I ain't know that. Could you come speak to my students?
But it's real, Terrell. It's real because people know realness, bro. And when we started this conversation prior to getting on here and recording, real and genuine always will take you far. That's what I learned in life. people, excuse my language, people see through the bullshit. That's it. So once you come in with it, they smell it, cool, I don't want to hear it. And I'm never coming with that. Like you said, you had a past. We all have a past. The story of that, you know, America in this world loves a champion. So overcoming things resonates more with people than just, I was perfect. The what? Oh, then what? I don't want to hear it. I'm struggling, so I don't want to hear about a perfect person. Not in this environment, though. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't help me because you'll know struggle, so you can't help me.
Only if that's your target audience, though. It depends. It's all, you know, you got to read the room.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I usually like to take people through the career journey of folks just to kind of show them like the progression. So they understand, you know, most of us got it out the mud. We ain't had silver spoons, right?
Yeah.
So one question I like to ask is, what was your first job?
Oh, my first job, I worked at the pool. I worked at a park pool, Drew Hill Park Pool, located in Drew Hill Park. Same as the singing group, R&B group, Drew Hill. I worked there from 14 to 19, my freshman year of
Get out of
college.
here.
That was my summer job as a pool attendant.
I would have never known that. So from being a pool attendant to what's your day job career again?
I'm a benefit authorizer at Social Security Administration.
Yeah. Look, that's a long way coming. To now, entrepreneur too. On top of that, and what would you say was your like? Did you have any lessons that you learned from that first job that sit with you that you think of today?
That was my first when I was working at a rec center because my aunt worked for Recreations Park, so she got me the job, and then she would get me like during the school year I would work at rec center. So that's why I really got a passion, just like let me help young people out. But the lesson was it was hot, and this one guy I remember, Mr. Darnell, all of them used to be on my ass because I kind of was like lazy, so I try to avoid. I'm not going out here. It's hot. It's the summertime. You work at a pool. You got to lift chlorine. And they're like, where's Devin at? I'm just hiding. But it taught me, and they would make sure they found, like, no, you're going to be on the schedule. You got to get here at 7 in the morning. What? I got to get here at 7 in the morning. It made me learn a valuable lesson of, like, hard work, like the real kind, like discipline, like doing the things you don't want to do. Like, hey, bro, you want these checks? And because I was the youngest one there at the time. And you could work overtime. And they like, you're not getting this overtime unless we see you actually putting in work. And that overtime could get you like, at this time, you get 100 hours. I could get like a $1,500 check at 14. That's a lot of money. So it was just dedication, discipline, and you got to work. Can't get anything.
Hard work pays off, but you got to put in the work, whether it be on yourself or be on the job. So put in the work. What was some steps you think you would give to somebody who's interested in following your career pathway, whether it be with, you know, let's look at it from the start of helping people in the community, and the path of, like, you know, taking that idea you have for the coloring book and turn it into a business. Like, I have a passion to help people. I want to do something. Your story inspires me. I want to see how I can help community. How do I take a small idea and turn it into a business, or start from small where I'm at? Like, what's some advice you would give based on what you went through?
Not to be corny, just like Nike. It is. Just do it. Just do it. I can't even, because this was with me. I had so many ideas, bro. So many ideas that I fell short on because I just didn't do it. I remember a good friend of mine in college, he had Campus Runner. We used to throw parties in college. Campus Runner was a pre-Uber Eats. He had the website. This is 2010. Everything. He told me, yo, invest, help me out. He stayed an extra year in college to try to get it up. And it was working. He would go to Wendy's and whatever places, McDonald's, and bring the stuff. Campus Runners. Boom. We had Pocono Greek. We used to do a lot of stuff. Pocono Greek. We tried to make our own ski, like ATL Greek, but we made a Poconos one. Fell short.
Yeah.
It's like I had these ideas, and when they failed, I don't want to do it. I had an idea like Kalama where you can like rent clothes. I had that. I told my friends, he laughed me out. Man, nobody renting clothes. Then people were putting down payments and renting clothes. It's just like I had it and I never stuck to it. And people can attest. Like I said this. So I said a coloring book to one of my friends. He said, "Man, that sounds cool." And I didn't tell anybody else. I said, I'm not telling anybody. I'm just going to sit here and do it. I did it last year, had the plan, and just did it. Didn't want anybody to cloud my mind, my vision. So that's what I'm saying. Just do it. Don't even ask too many people because you know what you want and you know how you want it to look. So just go for
it. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Just be like Nike and just do it. And I think sometimes we let our fear get in the way. We start getting our hair, or we start looking for validation instead of looking for the most validation. What you need is within yourself. Like validate the idea for you, and create that thing because the world needs to see it. The world needs to feel it. The world needs to touch it. The world needs to color it.
How did you go about it?
This?
If you don't mind? Yeah.
So I was speaking in schools. COVID came, hit us, slapped us upside the head. I wasn't speaking in schools, and then, for the longest time while I was speaking in schools, because I couldn't make it to every school, teachers and everybody would always say, "Yo, you should start a podcast.
Okay,
you should really start a podcast because, like, every time I hear you speak, you got stories for days." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Well, I don't want it to be about me. I don't want to be speaking about me. I want." And it's like, nah, I think you should really start a podcast. And then so COVID hit, we were sitting down, we ain't nothing else. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start this podcast, but it ain't just gonna be about me. It's gonna be about I gotta highlight my peoples. Like I gotta put everybody on. Like I don't want it to just be about me.
You're doing it, bro. You're good at it too as well. Give you flowers.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And so that's what it became. And then it took off. It just blew up like a rocket. Like, let me tell you how crazy this thing blew up. I'm not only I became number one in Africa in the first year on iTunes. And well, not number one, but in the top like 8 podcasts in their business podcasts. And then this year I looked at the numbers just the other day. We in like the UK, we in like Bangladesh, we in like India. I was like, man, I didn't know there's this many black people around the world.
we are the world.
Yeah, just tuning in. So it's a blessing. So we taking this thing global now. I guess that's what it is.
You taking it there, it's gonna be there.
Yeah, so I just started, like you said. I just started, and I didn't know what I was doing. I definitely didn't have this mic, this setup when I first started. It was just like, all right, let me go get this, and how can I record virtually? So I was even on a different software and everything, and then progressed over time as it kept getting better.
That's what it's about, man. And that's the story. Like you said, the story. That's what people hear. Like I started with one mic. Then I got better earphones. Then I'm in global. It's just like that's the thing people champion, that story. Like you had it from ground zero, now it's all over the world and will continue to grow.
Like Nas said, all I need is one mic. Yeah. I had to throw that reference in there.
Right.
But yo, I want to give you your flowers too, because that's a brilliant idea. We wanted to put together like a little coffee table book highlighting entrepreneurs so that we can have people read about it, have the schools have it, and have investors also who want to invest. Since George Floyd, all these black companies want to invest in black people. Yeah, right. Hey, here's a group of black people you can invest in. Get this coffee table book, Black History in the Making. Because what I feel was when we look at black excellence, we always revert to, the black history of old. But this current people making future black history right now, like yourself, that need to be recognized. That needs to be written down somewhere, else we're gonna forget about these people like yourself. And I don't want y'all to be forgotten. I want somewhere that they could be referenced in the knowledge for the future black leaders and students growing up to know that, hey, here's was the history while you was a baby, and there's some history before that. Shout out to all the people who paved the way, but there's still black history being made today.
And that's you're right.
we gotta
Shout out to
acknowledge
the
that.
ancestors, man. And it's like you said, it's people creating a new narrative. I hate saying it. I feel like that's thrown out there a lot, but people are creating new narratives like right now. And we need to highlight that in every which way that we can. You know, like it's a new time. Post, like 2015 with Freddie Gray, and then that was Joy. All that they kept putting in the news cycle. I feel like the world has shifted, especially for us. You know, we're knowing our real worth, even when it comes to sports, like a Kyrie or different athletes, knowing their worth. Like, this is a business, man. I'm really kind of a pawn in the grand scheme of things. So I'm going to take these peanuts, quote unquote, still like over $100 million and all that, but take this, invest in, reinvest in my community and uplift so we can be in that those tiers that and bridge that wealth gap in a major way. That's all I want. Like, we need to play this game the same way, be on the same playing field, even though we're behind in hundreds of years, but still create.
Yeah, but one thing I know about us, we creative, we resilient, we're forward thinkers, and then we can buy behind 100 yards, but we can catch up real quick. We can go 0 to 100 real quick if we got the right tools and synergies going on.
And they know that. That's why other people try to monetize from us, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
They know we're creative geniuses, bro. That's it. Like, honestly.
We are, and when we tap into that frequency, it's nothing that we cannot do. And for just quick shout out, Target, if you listening, because I have to say this and put this in the universe now that it's coming to my head. I see y'all highlighting all those black creatives. Reach out to my man's Devin. Get them on your shelves. Get the especially if you the Targets in the B-more area. Don't act like y'all ain't listening, because I know one of y'all out there listening. Let's get my man in these on these shelves with the rest of these black creators.
That's crazy you said that. I was in there. I was thinking about it. I have a deck, to present the businesses I just made. And I went in Target. You know, they had like the pride. They had the Black history. I'm like, man, and it's colorful and it's bright and it's glossy. I said, man, this would really look good here. And I'm gonna work on that, bro. Thank you. I'm working on that.
We're gonna put that. We're gonna put that in the universe for you. And then I think I got the info that somebody sent me for the Target Black Business Accelerator or whatever it is. I'll send it to you. I'll look for it and send it to you.
All right. Thank you.
Once we get off.
You know what else, bro? I'm gonna let you finish. You know what else? Renaissance. I've been saying this is a renaissance forever. And then I worked on it. Beyonce's album's Renaissance. I was watching the BET Awards yesterday. They talking about Renaissance. What's the young lady that makes The Shy? She was saying we're in a black Renaissance. I say something is a sign that's telling me, man, is the time is now. And I'm just keep hearing those words. I know I'm a win because I put it out there and it's about to come tenfold, bro.
Yes. I resonate with all that. Yes, and yes. So, what's one good lesson life has taught you?
Be patient.
Elaborate.
Be patient. Like I said, as anything, like I used to gamble, like shoot dice in the streets, wanting quick money, hustle sometimes illegally, being real. So also always trying to make something happen faster than I needed to, even in the midst of having sense. Like I wanted, I had to get it. Lessons taught, not even really with me, because I kind of, slid through different ways and never got caught doing anything. But I seen peers with that patience, that one trying to make a flip, die, that trying to do something, jail. I'm mad, violence, quick temper, just overreacting. So patience is when you said it in the beginning of the conversation of like, how did I get to the point of me? It's just like being clear-minded and not letting nobody ruffle your feathers and know you're going to get to that point. You might not get it fast. That's why I tell like young people, it's going to take your time. Somebody might have more, somebody might have less or whatever. But I know I'm going to get what I want if I just take my time, clear my head, and stop looking from the front to back and just run my own race. And that's when I say patience, like, bro, it's really a virtue. But those things don't really hit you until you go through life yourself to understand, like, that's what people meant. That's what they meant.
Patience.
And
Patience is really a virtue.
and it's been happening for me. That's the main thing life has taught me. Be patient. Be patient and put the work in, like I said before. Nothing comes to you. That's cliche, but it's real.
And the other thing I think that worked really well for you is that you didn't let anybody really like disturb your process. You went in questions with yourself. You focused yourself. You worked on your thing.
For
and
sure.
You didn't care what was going on in the world out there. You was doing your thing. You was in your process.
Yeah.
And then when it was ready, you came back out and like, boom, this is it.
And that's how I think that's how you're supposed to do, bro. Like Terrell, I'm excuse me calling you bro, brother, but that's how you supposed to make stuff happen. I just feel like we live for a lot of other people but ourselves in this time. Like, just look at it. Everybody's not really doing what they want to do. Like, I go in different communities, guys that I know, like, dang, bro, real hardcore street guys, and they really pull you to the side and be proud of you. Like, this is different. Like, this is different. This is changing, like real culture amongst our city. Like, a guy from here, he went to college, he came back. Now you got a coloring book, bro. And I look like you, I act like you, I walk like you. I'm doing this. So the different and the game changing, I really put that to like Nipsey. I like his ideologies, how he moved as a man. And it's just like, you got to be on the ground level to make them changes. I don't want to be a fall, untouchable. I'm here, bro. I'm not going to be dumb, but I'm here to help when I can, in the right places at the right times.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Shout out to Nipsey, the late great Nipsey. He taught us a lot. The marathon continues. His energy, his spirit, his life lessons will always be here with us, and we're gonna keep making sure we elevate that. What's some good advice you would give to a young person who's just getting out of, let's say if they just getting out of high school, they're in their first year of college, they trying to figure it out. They don't really know. They listen to your episodes like, I don't know what I want to do career wise. I got all these ideas, but I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. What's some
I do dialogue circles with young people, and I tell them that early. Like, I probably wish somebody I had that said that. My mother used to tell me, I'm giving her credit. Like, she definitely used to tell me have a plan. But that's it. Have an actual plan early. So that's why I try to get you at 14. I tell my son, he's 11. He gets tired of me talking. Oh, Dad, you'll understand what I'm saying by the time you're 15. And now he gave me a Father's Day card and wrote, man, thank you for making me the young man I am. And I appreciate it because I'm telling you early, have a plan. You might not know, but have a direction. Like, bro, if you want to get your CDLs or whatever, find that and really have another plan. I'm telling you, when all of them tell me to be rappers, I say I'm not denying your talent, but think outside of it. Have a different brand attached to being the rapper. So, like, that's it. Have a plan. Write it down daily. Have a real, like, day-to-day plan. Like, today I'm gonna wake up. I write down every day what I'm doing, and I tell them the same. So I don't have I don't want them to have straight advice, but it would be plan your life early so you don't have to try to fix it later on.
Ooh, that's a bar right there. Plan life early so you don't have to fix it later on. I love it. Man, you dropping all sorts of gems today. You might have to drop a book soon. Forget the coloring book. You might need a whole book. Streets is embracing it. When you look at the all right, so let's do this. What do you think? Because I like the coloring book idea, and I love that the future of Be More or wherever these coloring books are at, the communities that embrace it, and the things you're able to do. What does the future look like for you in that community? What do you envision?
Let me think. I envision, in the perfect world, the right people being in positions of power. So that can really affect, and that's overall this city, all cities, but people who really care, like, and like you said, not the like, if you want to do it, just do it. It don't have to be at a high level. It can be high level work at a low, like, quantitative, like small quantity of people. So I just want the right people in those positions, and don't just count yourself out. Like, I hate the this generation. Oh man, I don't want to hear none of that, because they said the same thing when I was in high school. You're not trying to get help 5 people or 1 or 1.5. Just don't say anything, because what can you complain about? They shooting, it's resources, it's lack of. Like, we know this. So try to switch it up. Oh, the mayor, this. What are you doing? The police, what are you doing? It's just like, man, you see trash, like they say, pick it up. You see somebody, they're disrespectful. Pull somebody to the side. So it's like, I see the city being great, especially in our community. I see, like, talent. I want people to be less pretentious, less ego based. Like, really, like, stop being fake love and really be love. Like, show the love. Like, not doing it when the camera is out. Like, I'm passing out some of these books in the hood just cause. Like, I don't need to record this. I don't need to record every time I'm talking to somebody. So it's like, be real. Like I say, real and genuine will take you far. People see through the fluff. So that's what I want. I want this book to become in different cities, and I want the DC one. I want to have it in Atlanta. I want to connect with different artists so they can draw. I didn't draw these pictures. I just had the vision, and somebody brought it to life. So I just want to connect with artists and get whatever idea I have next out in collaboration, and put your platform to somebody else, and y'all can connect the same way Ed connected me to you. So connecting them dots throughout the city and throughout the country, bro, and just letting us all shine and win and get some money and enjoy life how it's supposed to be enjoyed.
I love it. I love the vision. I'm with it. Whatever I can do to support, you got me over here.
Thank you.
So we're going to end off the episode like this. I like to make it a nice little drive time, or whatever's considered the drive time these days.
Right.
But although I think me and you, we could probably chop it up forever, honestly.
Yeah, you're
right. So let's talk about this. What projects are you currently working on, and where can people find you?
I'm working on the second volume. Not right now, but I'm really pushing this out to the masses in the city. So I'm trying to get at least 5,000 copies out, at least based in this city. So I'm a person of numbers. Like, now, I'm not just saying I want to get a lot out. No, I want to get 5,000. I want to get a contract, a 6-figure contract at the end of the year. So I'm speaking it so it can happen. So I want these things in stores. I want them in schools. I want them in detention centers. I want them in prisons. And I want to work on the next volume and creating this, and then passing it off to somebody else where they can create it. And I'm just stepping back because I don't want to get flustered like we're doing the same thing over and over. So once I'm done with this, I can give it to somebody else. They can take the baton, and I can move out and work on something else. So that's the plan.
Target. If you listening, he said 5,000. That's lightweight for you, Target. Come on. We speaking it to an existence. So yes,
and they can meet me. My bad, I forgot. They can go and meeting where you are. Excuse me for cutting you off, brother. I thought you had the second part to the question, so I had to say at meeting where you are. MEETING where you are at IG. It pops up. Devin Wilkins, black and white logo. Tap in. Website.
Tap in. And don't worry, I'm gonna get his bio. I'm gonna get the link to the website, his socials, wherever else he's at, and I'm gonna put it in the show notes below. So if you're driving or if you need to capture all that, you can just quickly go into the show notes and click on the links to get with my mans. And so man, Devin, this has been a pleasure, a delight, a treat, all of that good stuff.
Man, for sure. Bro.
Any last words of wisdom for the people before we sign off?
Man, take hold of your life. That's it. Make it work for yourself in whichever way that is. Even if you down bad, only way is up. So appreciate your time. Put me on your platform, showing love. Much love, black man.
Thank you. Much love to you. That's Devin Wilkins, ladies and gentlemen. Take hold of your life. Only way is up.
For sure. Thank you, bro.